Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're taking something that seems, well, completely chaotic, a literal transcript of modded Grand Theft Auto 5 gameplay. And we're talking superheroes on motorcycles flying over the ocean here, and we're going to apply a highbrow academic framework to it. That's right, we are mapping Joseph Campbell's classic hero's journey directly onto a session of absolute digital sandbox madness.
I mean, just to understand exactly what we're dealing with here, listen to this quote. "Stop right there, criminal scum. What are you doing in my swamp? Come here, boy." Right? This perfectly establishes the frantic, utterly unpredictable tone of our source material. It's just a non-stop barrage of random stimuli, mashing up pop culture references with high-speed digital action.
Okay, let's dive into this. If this sounds like a chaotic mess right now, don't worry. We are going to structure this wild linguistic landscape into a very clear, understandable journey. We'll start with the call to action, move through adrenaline and momentum, face the unpredictable obstacles and the law enforcement threat, celebrate some triumphs, and finally examine the infinite loop. We're turning madness into method, folks.
Section 1. The call to action, embarking on the digital journey.
So every classic hero's journey, from ancient myths to modern blockbusters, it always starts with a departure. But in our hyper-stimulating digital sandbox, this departure is a literal adrenaline-fueled countdown. Step 1 is the psychological preparation. I'm ready. Step 2 is the formal initiation. 3, 2, 1, go. And step 3, just a sheer explosion of kinetic energy. Go, 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 go. We are watching a player physically and verbally launch their character into the action with absolutely zero hesitation. It's pure forward momentum right out of the gate.
Section 2. Pure adrenaline and momentum, the vocabulary of speed. Once our digital hero embarks, they maintain that initial departure through sheer linguistic momentum. If we categorize the player's verbal output into emotional states, you'll notice how the momentum slice, fueled by words like go and woohoo, and the panic slice, filled with cries of oh no and mayday, completely dominate the picture. It beautifully illustrates how this gameplay is basically just a pendulum, swinging violently between extreme excitement and absolute terror.
And to emphasize just how relentless this really is, over 100 times. That is how often the player shouts a variation of the word go in this single session. Over 100. This constant vocalization actually acts as an engine driving the action forward. Silence simply isn't an option here.
Section 3. Unpredictable obstacles and chaos, the trials.
But as we know, momentum always hits a wall eventually. Moving into the trials phase of the monomyth, our digital hero encounters sudden, deeply absurd roadblocks. At 0 seconds, there's the sudden shock. Oh my God, train! Just 15 seconds later, the scope widens. We got problems downtown. By 30 seconds, authority intervenes. This is the LSPD. And at 45 seconds, the inevitable crash. We're going down. This timeline transforms just random chaotic shouting into a surprisingly gripping, linear narrative of disaster.
And this perfectly illustrates the duality of the sandbox experience. On one side, you have a moment of supreme, almost comical overconfidence. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And then, directly on the other side, immediate disaster. Oh no, the car exploded! It crafts this hilarious mini-narrative of hubris and downfall. It really reminds us that the digital world will punish arrogance instantaneously.
Section 4. The law enforcement threat, encountering the antagonist.
Now, every hero needs a villain. And in this specific digital environment, the recurring antagonist that abruptly halts our hero's momentum is the digital police force. Notice the sheer variety of ways the player expresses panic when this systemic threat arrives. We've got the desperate flight of oh run run, the tactical plea for backup, the existential dread of no God please no, and the catastrophic mayday mayday. But my personal favorite is this totally unhinged coping mechanism. Look at me, I'm flying! It just shows how quickly the emotion shifts from excitement to pure unfiltered terror.
Then you hear, "Stop your car now. This is the LSPD. You're the last one. Complete the mission." Notice the jarring, authoritative language of the game world here. It aggressively intrudes upon the player's manic superhero fantasy. The game is trying to impose strict order, while the player just wants to fly a motorcycle over the ocean.
Section 5. Triumphs and catchphrases, the hero's reward.
When our hero occasionally manages to escape, they enter the reward phase, and we can actually treat their repetitive victory phrases as a formal taxonomy. So, bingo, signifies a calculated, tactical success. Booyah represents an aggressive, forceful dominance over whatever the obstacle was. And sweet? Well, that's reserved for those effortless, smooth-sailing victories.
But what happens when the digital superhero fails? This is a really crucial pivot in our perspective, because in the world of sandbox gaming, triumph is incredibly fleeting, and the crash is an absolute inevitability.
Section 6. The Infinite Gameplay Loop. The Endless Return.
In a classic hero's journey, the hero returns home fundamentally changed by their adventure. But in modern gaming, the return phase is literally just respawning. It's a sandbox loop. It's an endless, high-speed cycle of hubris, disaster, panic, and immediate reset. It's honestly a marvel to watch a player move instantly from screaming about a flooded car back to yelling "Go, go, 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 go" without missing a single beat. And it's all perfectly encapsulated by the game politely saying, "Bye, have a great time," right as everything explodes.
However, this relentless cycle definitely takes a toll over time. When the dialogue completely de-evolves into blah 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 blah, it perfectly illustrates how the player's brain eventually just turns the chaotic environment into pure background noise. Sensory overload kicks in, and language becomes absolute nonsense. And yet, they push forward anyway. Oh no, the car exploded? Okay, go, 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 go. This reveals the ultimate resilience. Or, honestly, perhaps the sheer madness of the digital hero resetting immediately after a catastrophic failure. There is no grieving for the exploded car here. There is literally only the next jump.
Which leaves us with a final, provocative thought. Is this chaotic, endless loop a failure of attention? Is it just extreme sensory overload? Or is it actually the purest form of modern digital meditation? Like a way to achieve a flow state by completely surrendering to the chaos? I'll leave you to think about that the next time you find yourself hitting respawn. Thanks for learning with me today, and I'll catch you on the next explainer.